They don't want people to know what they're doing in this office building that we're standing in front of. The Orange County IDA recently approved a project, an expansion in the town of Goshen. Mack Brothers is the company. They also go by Milmar Food. They're a processor / warehouse for food products. And so they come to the Orange County IDA. They submit an application for tax breaks, sales tax break, mortgage tax break, property tax break. As part of the application, they've got to fill out all sorts of important and relevant questions. One of the questions asks, what are your projected income for the next 3 years that will come from this project? And they answer, over the 3 years, they're due to make from this expansion $165 million. Great news. It's a lot of money. They also have to answer, what's going to be the cost of this expansion? And so they answer $18.5 million in capital costs for this expansion. So right there off the bat, $165 million in 3 years, they will make a new income, $18.5 million in costs for the project. That alone should have had the IDA take their application and toss it in the wastebasket. But they didn't. But then here's the kicker. There's a question on the application that asks, and I'll read right from it. Please confirm by checking the box below, will this project move forward without the requested incentives? And virtually every company that submits an application to the Orange County IDA checks no. Sometimes they're being truthful and it's genuine and the project cannot move forward without these incentives. Sometimes the company lies and they check no anyway. Here, Milmar checks yes. This project will move forward if you, the Orange County IDA, don't give us tax breaks. That, ladies and gentlemen, ought to be the first filter when an IDA gets an application. This is called the but-for clause of economic development. If we don't give you this incentive, will the project still happen anyway? That should be the first filter. Lo and behold, the Orange County IDA, despite all of this information, they approve every single incentive that Milmar requests of them.
The senator is focused on an answer to one of the questions on our application for incentives that, frankly, Milmar tried very in earnest to answer as accurately and honestly as possible. The question asked whether or not the project would happen without these incentives. And again, I know that Milmar has considered this project for quite some time. They wanted to answer and said, yes, they intend to do this project, but it would not happen in this time frame, not nearly as soon as they intend to now, and it wouldn't create as many jobs as they will now. That was the real full answer on the application to that question. And of course, the senator is just taking a piece of a fact and not all of the facts, and trying to create some hysteria around it.
We're going to get to the bottom of why they gave these incentives, why they slapped taxpayers in the face yet again with what I would argue is the most egregious application that's been approved by the Orange County IDA in many, many years.
The senator really likes people to believe that the rest of the taxpayers somehow shoulder that load. He referenced that in his press conference today. It's not the case at all. If this project doesn't happen, these new property taxes that will result would not come to be. All we're doing is providing savings or reducing those new taxes or phasing them in more accurately. And no one else is paying the remainder of any bill. Those taxes are they don't exist. So the idea that someone else is shouldering that is totally incorrect. Actually, during the life of a pilot or a property tax abatement or phase-in, the applicants, the projects pay millions of dollars in new tax revenue at the same time. Even though they're getting a savings, they're still paying millions of dollars in tax revenue. Another example is Royal Wine that the senator attacked. They are paying over $67 million in taxes during the life of their pilot. So the idea that any other taxpayers are shouldering that is completely false, and it's misleading, to say the least.
The Orange County IDA is either too arrogant or too stupid to learn lessons. And so they need to be held accountable. And so part of this is holding them accountable for ripping off taxpayers.
I can tell you we operate following every single letter of the law without question. Just unfortunately, the senator wants us to follow a set of laws that are not law, that he wants to be law, but he's not able to get passed in the state legislature. So we're following the law as it's written to a T. I promise you that. And I think that's important for the public to know.